Good day, sir, ma'am, and buddies. This is the Group 3 from BS Crim Oscar 1 reporting the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or the PNP-CIDG.
Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. Eliseo D.C. Cruz, Police Brigadier General Eliseo de la Cruz is Regional Director directed in Rizal and Quezon Provincial Officer to organize their platoon with SAR teams and the event that situation escalates. What is CIDG? The Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG, is the primary investigation arm of the Philippine National Police. So, ang CIDG is pangunahing sangay ng investigasyon. Criminal Investigation and Detection Group was established as the Criminal Information Service whose origin traces back as early as 1901, shortly after the establishment of the Philippine Constabulary, when the Information Section was established as mandate by the Section 2, Article 255 of Philippine Commission in 1920. The Information Division was integrated with the United States Armed Forces in Far East, and its detective participate at the Battle of Bataan, many of which also were forced to participate at the Bataan Dead March. Ang CDI itinatag bilang criminal information service na pinagmulan ay noong 1901, tapos ilang sandali matapos ang pagtatatag ng Philippine Constabulary, ang information section ay itinatag ayon sa mandato ng Section 2, Article 255 ng Philippine Commission. Tapos noong 1920, ang Information Division ay isinama sa United States Armed Forces. This is a list of intelligence agencies by country. It includes only currently operational institution, an intelligence agency in government agency responsibility for collection, analysis, and exploitation of information in support of law enforcement, national security, military, and foreign policy objectives. Ang CIDG ay listahan ng mga ahensya ng paniktik sa isang bansa. Kabilang dito ay ang kasalukuyan mga institusyon nagpapatakbo, or ito rin ang ahensya ng gobyerno na responsible para sa pagkolekta, pagsusuri at pagsasamantala ng impormasyon bilang suporta sa pagpapatupad ng bansa, pampabansang seguridad, militar at mga layunin sa patakarang panlabas. Eugene Francio Bidac, father of CIDG. Si Eugene Francio Bidac ay pinanganak noong July 24, 1975, tapos namatay siya noong May 11, 1857. Isa rin siyang adventurer and detective who helped create the police security The four main role of CIDG: first, determine if a crime has been committed. Two, identify the perpetrator. Three, apprehend the perpetrator and provide evidence to support a conviction in court. What is the history of CIDG? The Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG, has its beginning in 1901 with the creation of the Information Section of Insular Constabulary pursuant to Section 2 of Act 253 of the Philippine Commission. It was given the task investigating crimes against security of the states. So ayun nga, ang CIDG or Criminal Investigation Detection Group ay nagsimula noong 1901 sa paglikha ng information section ng Insular Constabulary at sunod sa Section 2 ng Article 253 ng Philippine Commission. Binigyan ito ng tungkuling mag-imbestiga sa mga krimen laban sa bansa sa seguridad ng Estado. Next reporting.
Vision. The Criminal Investigation and Detection Group is committed to a vision of a dynamic, responsible, and well-equipped primary investigative agency manned by the best qualified and highly motivated professionals in search of the truth and justice. Ang vision naman ng Criminal Investigation Detection Group ay nakatuon sa isang pananaw ng isang pagbabago or pabago-bago yung mga responsible or responsable at may mahusay na kagamitan na pangunahing ahensya ng pagsisiyasat. Mission. Undertake the monitoring, investigation, and prosecution of all crimes involving economic sabotage, and other crimes of such magnitude and extent as to indicate their commission by highly placed or professional criminal syndicates and organization. Investigative all major cases involving violations of the revised penal code and operate against organized crime groups unless the president assign the case exclusively to the National Bureau of Investigation. Ang mission naman ng Criminal Investigation Detection Group ay isagawa ang pagsubaybay or pagsisiyasat at sa lahat ng mga krimen na ikinasasangkutan ng pang-ekonomiyang sabotahe at iba pang mga krimen ng gaanong kalaki at lawak upang ipahiwatig ang kanilang ginawa sa pamamagitan ng mataas na posisyon o profesional na mga sindikato at organisasyong kriminal. Investigahan ang lahat ng malalaking kasos na pinasasangkutan ng mga paglabag na sa binagong or sa revised penal code at kumilos laban sa organisadong grupo ng krimen maliban kung itinalaga ng presidente ang kaso ng exclusively sa National Bureau of Investigation. The function of CIDG: monitors, investigative, and prosecute all crimes involving economic sabotage like bank frauds, large-scale smuggling, staple dollars, salting, hoardings, profiteering, and other crimes of such magnitude and extent as to indicate their commission by highly placed professional syndicate and organization. investigate all major cases involving violations of the revised penal code, conduct operations against notorious wanted person and organized crime group, particularly those engaged in bank robbery, kidnapping for ransom, gun for hire, and illegal profession and trafficking of firearms and explosives. Ang function naman ng CIDG ay pagsubaybay or yung monitoring at pag-iimbestiga sa lahat ng mga krimen na kinakasakutan ng mga pang-ekonomiyang pagsasabotahe tulad ng mga yung bank frauds, mga large scale, smuggling stapa. Tapos, ang pagsisiyasat or yung investigation ng mga lahat ng pangunahing kaso na nagva-violate sa revised penal code. Provide direct support of the PNP field units in the investigation and solution of major crimes, especially those requiring specialized investigative techniques and intensive follow-ups. Investigative cases involving special laws which are expressly assigned to the group, such as the anti-graft and corrupt practices, illegal recruitment, and illegal profession of firearms and explosives. Assist in the prosecution of cases being investigative by the organized and in the crime prevention effort of the PNP field units, identifies, documents, and investigates the atrocities committed by the CPP, NPA, NDP, NDF, and file criminal cases with the civil courts and Commission of Human Rights. Perform such other function as the higher authority may direct. In order for the PNP to establish a credible cybercrime unit within CIDG, it conducted consultation and networking without various international law enforcement agencies, ICT industries, and academies, and other stakeholders. Upang mapatatag naman yung PNP ng isang kapanipaniwalang cybercrime unit sa loob ng CIDG, nagsagawa ito ng konsultasyon at networking sa iba't ibang international law enforcement agencies, ICT industries, academies, at iba pang stakeholders. So dito papasok yung 6 cardinal point of investigation. Number 1, what specific offense has been committed? Or kung anong particular na pagkakasala ang nagawa or yung nature of crime. Number 2, where crime was committed. Ito yung place or location. Number 3, when it was committed. Ito yung eksaktong oras at panahon kung kailan naganap yung isang offense. Number 4, why it was committed. Ito yung dahilan or motibo para sa paggawa ng nasabing crime. Number 5, who committed the crime or offense. Ito yung naman yung specific na tao kung sino ang gumawa ng crime or offense. Number 6, how it was committed. Or yung paraan ng modus operandi.
What makes a good criminal investigator? Honesty and good ethics. A criminal investigator must be ethical, honest, and law-abiding. If a criminal investigator is caught lying or using unethical methods, he or she will lose credibility, perhaps lose their job, or even be convicted of a crime themselves. Bali po ang kailangan po para mas maayos ang criminal investigator ay ang honesty and good ethics. Next po. What is the importance of investigation? The purpose of the investigation is to explore in detail the allegation, to examine the evidence in depth, and to determine specifically whether academic research misconduct has been committed, and if so, the responsible person and the seriousness of the misconduct. Bali po ang layunin po ng investigation ay mag-explore sa bawat mga detalye ng alegasyon at masuri ang mga ebidensya ng mabuti at magbigay ng tiyak na aksyon sa mga maling pag-aaral ng academic research at kung sino ang responsible na tao at ang serbisyo. Next. What are the components of criminal investigation? A criminal investigation is a question and collection of items or knowledge that then helps you reach a conclusion and find the answer you were looking for. A criminal investigation has three elements: the process, crime-related information, and goals. Ang criminal investigation po ay ang collection ng mga items o kaalaman na makakatulong sa iyo para maabot ang conclusion at hanapin ang sagot na hinahanap mo sa isang criminal investigation at may tatlo po itong elements. Ito ang pagproseso, ang impormasyon na kaugnay sa krimen at mga layunin nito. Next. What are the 5-step investigation process? Here are the 5 steps. 1. Define a question to investigate. As a scientist conducts their research, they make observation and collection data. 2. Make predictions based on their research and observations. Scientists will often come up with hypotheses. 3. Gather data. 4. Analyze the data. 5. Draw conclusions. Next po. Importance. Applied to the criminal realm, criminal investigation refers to the process of collecting information or evidence about crime in order to 1. Determine if a crime has been committed, 2. Identify the perpetrator, 3. Apprehend the perpetrator, and 4. Provide evidence to support conviction court. Ang isang criminal investigation daw po ay tumutukoy sa proseso ng pagkolekta ng information or evidence tungkol sa isang krimen upang matyak na ang isang krimen ay nagawa na, kilala ang nagsasagawa, at dilipin ang nagsasagawa, magbigay ng ebidensya para suportan ng isang conviction sa korte. Next po. What are the major goals of a criminal investigation? To determine whether a crime has been committed, to legally obtain sufficient information and evidence to identify the person responsible for a crime, to locate and arrest the suspect, to recover stolen property, to present the best possible case to the prosecutor, and ultimately to gain conviction. Upang matyak daw po na ang isang krimen ay nagawa na, upang legal na makakuha ng sapat na impormasyon at ebidensya, at upang makilala ang taong responsible para sa isang krimen, upang hanapin at arestuhin ang suspect, upang mabawi ang ninakaw na ari-arian, at upang ilahad ang pinakamahusay na possible na kaso, magkaroon ng conviction. What is the most important tool in criminal investigation and why? Blood is one of the most important biological traces that are often found on the crime scene. Due to the valuable information and contains, it is considered to be a very important forensic tool. Ang dugo daw po ay ang pinakamahalagang biological traces para daw po ma-determine kung siya po talaga yung suspect or kasama sa crime. Next po. Comparative investigation involve collecting data on different organisms, objects, pictures, or collecting data under different conditions, times of year, temperatures, location, to make a comparison. In comparative investigation, scientists look for patterns or trends by comparing similarities and differences over time and under various circumstances and identifying the boiling points of the three different liquids or using a hand lens to observe the external anatomy of two different insects are example of comparative investigation. Next po.
Experimental investigations involve a process in which a pair test is designed and variables are actively manipulated, controlled, and measured in an effort to gather evidence to support or refute a causal relationship. Experimental investigations have a control group which does not receive any treatment. A classic example is what is the effect of light color on plant growth. In this experiment, the variable color of light is changed by the student. The student may compare red light to green light to natural light. Experimental investigation ay isang proseso kung saan ang isang patas na pagsubok or yung pair test ay idisenyo or design at ang mga variable ay aktibong minamanipula, kinokontrol or sinusukat sa pagsisikap na mangalap ng ebidensya upang suportahan o pabulaanan ang isang sanhi ng relasyon. Ang mga pang-eksperimentong pagsisiyasat ay may control group na hindi tumatanggap ng anumang paggamot. Ang isang klaseng halaman or halimbawa ay kung ano or yung what is the effect of light color on the plant growth. Sa eksperimentong ito, ang variable na kulay ng liwanag ay binago ng mga mag-aaral or the student. Maaring ihambing ng mga student ang pulang ilaw sa berdeng ilaw sa isang natural na liwanag or yung light. In experimental investigation, it is important to keep all other variables constant. In the example above, it would not be fair with it would be not a fair test if the plants under the green light receive a different amount of water if the items in an experiment that are kept the same are identified as the controls. The chart below summarizes the similarities and differences in comparative and experimental investigations. Next reporting.
Comparative investigation. Compare the effect of a variable on two or more groups. Includes all the parts of an experiment except the control group. Include the following parts of scientific inquiry. Observation, scientific question, hypothesis, procedure, variables, independent and dependent. data, graphs, analysis, conclusion. Next, buddy. Experimental investigation. Determine how a variable affects a group. Include all parts of an experiment. Include the following parts of a scientific inquiry: observation, scientific question, hypothesis, procedures, variable independent and dependent, control area and experimental group, data graphs, analysis, conclusion. Next, buddy. Two rule of investigation. The preliminary investigation is the police agency's first response to a report that a crime has occurred. As in every investigate effort, the primary objective of the preliminary investigation is to determine who commit the crime and to apprehend the offender. Follow-up investigation. A follow-up investigation is the continuing and final stages in any investigation unless the investigation was closed as part of the preliminary investigation. Ang paliwanag ko po dun ay two rule of investigation. Ang paunang investigation ay ang unang tugon ng ahensya ng pulisya sa isang ulat na may nangyaring krimen tulad ng bawat pagsisikap sa pagsisiyasat. Ang pangunahing layunin ng paunang pagsisiyasat ay upang matukoy kung sino ang gumawa ng krimen at hulihin ang nagkasala. Pansunod sa pagsisiyasat, ang isang follow-up na investigasyon ay ang nagpapatuloy at huling magyugto sa anumang pagsisiyasat maliban kung ang pagsisiyasat ay sinara bilang bahagi ng paunang pagsisiyasat. Yun lang po. Next, buddy. Yan po yung tinatawag na CIDG organizational structure. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po.
So yun po, dito na po natatapos ang aming reporting about CIDG or the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. Thank you po.